It was 2 days before the big day. People in the village was working away. You did not care about that. Ran out in the forest and played just like that. The winter was hard and cold, but you were strong and old. A shadowy figure was hiding in the snow, some mysterious person with a mysterious glow. Said we don't need security, we're giving out a loan, but you had done economics, so you is grown. The figure saw how you didn't quite agree, so it started fire off arguments with no empirical evidence, like someone without a degree. It whispered rumors of endless tricks, dimensions of which it claimed there were six. The voice had some persuasion, clearly good with goal orientation. When questioned, relied on defense mechanism, clearly a case of individualism. Its inability to take risk was an annoyance, clearly someone with uncertainty avoidance. With high uncertainty avoidance. Sorry mates, this is not like clear, but we're going through it. Said to be the most awesome being in existence. Clearly a person with great power distance. No matter you stalled with standing innovation. Clearly playing a game of long-term orientation. The whispers were neither refrained and nor refulgence. Clearly the voice had given in to indulgence. As it persisted with no backing of claims, bad forecast with low credibility and no aims. You started to turn back. You've had enough of this persistent tone. It quickly realized that it lost attention and started to moan. To make it abundantly clear, you thought of something clever, something that would make this fiend remember forever. Taking one arm and crossing it with the next. Showing two curves, but no speech and no text. Pointed them both high up in the sky and said, your whisper goes on deaf ears, because here is no demand for your lacking and seemingly endless supply. You ran back to the village, where all was said and done, and boasted about the argument that business studies helped you won. Get that swinging around the Christmas spirit, and now let's get into it. Music down. If you as a viewer, I know, breaking the third wall already, thought that it was cringy from before, then settle in and count the cringes, cause today will hit the high score. It's starting with a village that was almost all done, from top to toe was pristine, thanks to the help of everyone. But however jolly the moment, there was still one thing that was missing. One chair that was empty. An uncle of a married-in cousin was not there. Someone said he lived outside the village and must not have heard all the preparation noise in the village, but of him there was no word. You took up the mantle. There mustn't be someone who negatively reminiscing, but of the shadowy figure you had to be aware. You had walked for hours and hours on end. Your legs were freezing and your tongue could not bend. When reached the top of the hill, the knees collapsed in the snow. I guess this is as far as our hero could go. As your cheeks were thawing in the fireplace's glow, you noticed the presence that was of a remembrant bow. With the village people looking over, there were one that stood out. It was the shadowy figure, but in the light there was no doubt. This was the uncle of a married-in cousin who'd paid you a prank. The distasteful loan strategy he'd presented, truly it stank. That just goes to show that it's bad to judge a book by its cover, because the shadowy figure came to rescue you in the snow when there was no other. So remember, even if it's funny, even if it's hilarious at some times, don't turn down a shadowy figure in the woods because of bad reasoning when it comes to loans, when it probably is your uncle of a married cousin, just for a rhyme. That one's for me, mates. I know that last one was long, but it's a poem and not a song. So despite it's cringy, it's not wrong even if it goes on and on.